Hello everybody, lovely to be here today. Thank you for the introduction there. So yeah, I'm Lloyd Buxton from Omilia. We are going to be talking about Self-Learning Agentic CX, which is what we see as the next phase and really the current phase of conversational AI. Just a quick couple of minutes on Omilia. So we've been around for 20 years. We've focused on conversational AI exclusively. So this is something, it's not just been an add-on to a CCAS stack or something that we have. It's all that we've done for all of those 20 years. Still have a very vibrant kind of startup mentality, which you have to have in this industry right now. We're based in Greece, so we're a European company. So a lot of the trust issues that we've talked about these last day and a half, that's something that we can easily address because everything's hosted in Europe. About 500 people, and we work with lots of different companies around the world, over 200 enterprise companies, from big financial services companies through telcos, government, lots and lots, and we'll touch on that in a bit more detail. And I think for me, that's, I guess I stand up here with a lot of humility because what we're going to share now is actually really from us and our partnership with our customers. We're not just a vendor up here with a slideshow chasing evaluation, right? We're fiercely independent, and that's the way we want to be in this space. So it's really spirit of partnership. That's why we love events like this, and we have to be listening and learning all the time. So as well as myself and my colleague Alex, we have some representation from our product and delivery teams because again, we're learning from you all, and we're all trying to progress in this space. So what we're going to talk about is the journey, because it's very much is a journey to agentic, journey to self-learning, how those expectations have shifted in the last 6 months to a year or so, even more recently than that, and then what's the next step, how we go beyond automation to learning. And for those of you who did enter the Lego prize draw, we will be announcing the winners on stage during the presentation. I thought that was going to be, the thing to top today, but I've just been beaten by a robot. I think everyone's going to be interested in Lego. Now I've just been one-upped, but that's fine. Good. So look, we've talked about the last day and a half, a lot about this subject. The promise to production gap is getting a lot bigger. And so not here to debate that. I think everyone understands now that if you're not moving on this, you haven't got something in pilots, getting it to production is something that you need to do very quickly. I think the interesting nuance to this, hearing from a lot of the success stories that we've had over the last day, is that a lot of companies are now getting it into production, but it's been quite a hard road. And so if it's been hard to this point, it's going to be even harder in the next iteration of agentic. And so that's really what we're here to try and solve with you all. I'm a visual person, so interesting if we turn the robot around and they could tell us what they see. But a little bit cryptic, some of these, but it's just to explain, I guess, what we see as some of the challenges in getting agentic CX into production. So I'll go from the top left, a sledgehammer to crack a walnut. It's a bit of an English saying if you're not from the UK, but it's using something that is too big for the job, perhaps, right? It's just a walnut, you don't need a big sledgehammer to crack it. So this, a little bit extendedly, just is trying to depict the interesting debate we're having right now between deterministic chatbots through hybrid through to fully agentic. Now, I'm not going to go too much into that debate today. Really what we're seeing is that it should be a binary debate. It isn't either or. It should be everything, okay? And it should be driven by your use cases. So if you have something that's a very, very simple use case for a customer, where is my order? I just need to check on a details policy document. Perhaps you don't need to use third-party LLM for that and burn through a load of tokens. We're working with a global telco, and they, in the process of selecting the vendor, and it was ultimately us, they compared us to a generic LLM wrapper solution. And the costs between, our hybrid approach for them and a fully agentic approach, bring your own LLM, was about $500,000 a year. Now, that might be fine for your organization because you want to deliver these agentic richer experiences, but their brief for at least phase one of this was to save cost. So they have very simple telco use cases, SIM swaps, check on a puck code, those kind of things. So
the hybrid approach really works for them. So that's a challenge we've been working to solve, and a lot of people have been working to solve in this room. Moving around to the top right, what's in the box? So I think a lot of people have struggled with, conversational platforms and agentic platforms that are stitched together with lots of different third-party technologies. There's one party for the speech recognition, there's one party for the NLU, another third party for the LLM. And what that means is that you don't have that observability, that auditability. If something goes wrong in a conversation, it's actually quite hard to pinpoint where it went wrong. Did the LLM not understand what was happening, or could it just not recognize the user's intent because the speech recognition engine didn't pick up what the person said? So it's actually giving, as we go more into fully agentic, more into accepting and being comfortable with things being automated quicker, the dichotomy of that is we're going to need to have more observability in our stacks, right? Everything needs to be seen because you can need to explain to somebody what happened if something does go wrong. Moving around to the bottom right, this is trying to depict, I don't know what the dog or the hairbrush has got to do with it, but anyway, the fact that when a lot of these agentic systems go into production, they just can't cope with real world events. Things like background noise. A lot of these solutions can't deal with background noise above 60 decibels, which if you're trying to call your bank and you're on your way home and the traffic noise, or you've got kids screaming at home, this is real world stuff, right? You could build a fantastic model, fantastic pilot, but as soon as it goes into the wild, it just fails. We do a lot of work with Taco Bell, which is a quick service restaurant in the US. It's quite apt, so I'm going to make you even hungrier for lunch talking about Taco Bell now. But they actually use Omilia in their drive-thrus. So you drive up into the restaurant, it's in the open air, we're integrated with the microphone and speakers, you're in your big American truck, your V12, you've got your kids screaming in the background, you're making an order, and we have better than 90% accurate order accuracy, which, and you've got to remember the humans aren't 100% accurate, right? So that's really good for the franchises. It works with the background noise, works in the real world, just as an example. And that's quite a crazy, use case. The Americans do love to, I don't know, what's the word? Create new genres of food. So you could be ordering a triple cheese burnt Chipotle burrito, something, right? It's just crazy, just to understand all of that. So we've tuned and tweaked specialized language models for that use case, right? Because we own the whole stack. And that's just for breakfast, by the way. That kind of things they order. So working in the real world is a bit of a challenge. And the final one is a little bit cryptic, but it's showing one side, not listening to the other. Again, what we've seen is that a lot of the focus of automation has clearly been automating a chatbot or an IVR to a customer, using a lot of great inputs from around the business, but perhaps not including agents in that process. What I mean by that is that I still stand by the fact today that your best agent in your business is still better than any agentic solution that is currently out there, just because of the experience that they have, all the use cases they can cover. So why are we learning from it in a more robust, structural way? And that's really the crux of how we're going to approach this new phase of self-learning. So making sure you're not losing a lot of that good behavior from the agents to serve your customers. So you end up with something in the worst case that the model breaks. It can't hear. It's just it's not great. But it's not all doom and gloom. We have ended up with some situations here that AI was supposed to enrich these experiences and deliver value, but the ROI is not there. It's plateaued in terms of its performance, etc., etc. We won't go too much into that today. However, right, today I think it's been amazing the last day and a half. We are hearing the success stories and hearing the learning and trying to understand and build on each other's experiences to deliver this better, but it shouldn't be this hard to get in production is the point. And then I guess what we have seen and found from people who we're working with, or actually just discussions in the market, is that a lot of the systems to date have been built for the business, maybe not for the customer in mind. Just too keen to take on this technology. There's a lot of pressure from the CEO, from the exec, to get Gen AI and LLM into a customer-facing application, and it's failing things like we just talked about. It doesn't work in the real world, right? it's not understanding what I'm saying. So actually designing for the customer, we're hearing that a lot more, especially the last day and a half, putting the customer back into the heart of this to make sure we are designing for them. And I guess an example of that is that we've, in a good way, we've kind of abandoned the word containment because that was actually being used in a slightly negative fashion, that if a customer interaction was contained, that was a good metric. But it could just be the customer just couldn't actually get done what they needed to get done. That, it's counted as a containment metric because they went through the process, but the customer didn't resolve their issue. So we moved away from some describing it like that into resolutions and outcomes, which is a really good sign that we are really starting to design for the customer. So so that's the challenges. And if you're working with the right kind of people in your business, the right partners, the right vendors, we are solving for all of those things. And we've heard great case studies over the last day and a half about how we are solving for moving to agentic from deterministic, for real world examples, and all the rest of it. But then, the expectations have changed quite drastically within the businesses. There's a lot of pressure to go really fast with this. So the 4 ones that we're really seeing is that the first is we're definitely, in a good way, moving away from putting the objective of these projects to cut costs and just increase automation. We're seeing that people are wanting to expand their horizon to deliver better outcomes. So that's customer satisfaction. It's better recommendations for customers. So I guess you could use that as upsell. And this is kind of relates back to, do you go fully agentic or deterministic? I think it's a cultural thing. Like, what are you trying to do with this project? If you're in at phase 1 and you're looking to just cut costs, then maybe, deterministic flows, if you've got basic use cases, are good. But if you're actually looking to deliver better CSAT, better outcomes, better performances, I think that's where we're seeing a lot of leading brands that we've heard from in the last day actually move more and be more comfortable with the agentic outcome, even if it costs a little bit more and needs a little bit more control, because those conversations, you want to drive those great conversations because you're not just looking to cut costs, you're looking to deliver more richer, better agentic experiences. So definitely moving the needle on what the outcome is here. The next challenge really is what our self-learning development is mostly about, time to value. I think a lot of people are losing patience with how long it's taken to get to this point. Nobody's willing to wait 6 months for a pilot to go into production anymore. Now, whether that's realistic or not is up to you as a business and up to your execs. But the idea is that, we need to move faster on this. We need to get MVPs up and running in production very, very quickly. So time to value is everything. The next couple of points, I'll skip the third one really. It's just, obviously every business is on a journey to become AI first, and we need to bring on all the stakeholders together. And the fourth one, again, back to the point I made about the more agentic we're going to be, the more we're going to need observability in the stack and understanding everything that's going on. That black box automation will be a liability moving forwards. So again, just how we're approaching it, we are working with a lot of these brands around the world to solve those problems, solve those challenges. Sometimes we're a little bit ahead of them in terms of our vision. Sometimes they're a bit ahead of us, right? It has to be that kind of relationship. We have to learn from each other to improve. So I mentioned some of this, 20 years in the business. We are proven at scale, which again is another point we're seeing now, that people aren't just happy with a shiny demo. It's shown me where you've actually done this in production. So we do handle very, very high volumes in regulated sectors. Capital One is our largest customer. They put through 500 million calls a year through the Omilia conversational platform, and that's working at scale and delivering some great customer outcomes, which we'll come on to later. And then the thing, I think, solving for a lot of the problems that I mentioned around, do we use deterministic, do we use hybrid approaches, agentic, can we tweak the models, can we understand if there's a speech recognition problem? We have a better chance of doing that because we own the full stack. We're not going out to lots of different third parties, be it OpenAI or DeepGram or anyone else to complete the task. Everything at Omilia has been built by Omilia. But we do obviously integrate with some of the larger LLMs for certain use cases. Okay. So let's come on to the challenge today is around how we're going to get to this position of self-learning. And so we've been trying to ask ourselves that question, trying to get, a mission statement together. And this is
the one that's been tried and tested with our customers, because if we're going to deliver these great experiences for customers, where's a really good place to start? A really good place to start is with your agents. Your best agents are doing great things for customers every single day. So how can we replicate those agent behaviors, those agent actions endlessly, right? How can we start to get them more into production and start to learn from each other in more of a closed loop? So the framework that we have developed in partnership with our customers, the first thing is to say that we are learning from those agents. Okay, we're not building something in isolation for just a digital chatbot just for customers that isn't linked up to what agents are doing. So having agents in the loop, having that ability for the platform to listen into those agent calls, to learn from the agent calls, and to analyze and then come up with new flows is really important. All along with, again, still listening to the IVR, the customer side, and the call quality analysis and insights. Is she becoming more alive as I talk, or is it just me? You're excited. It's great. We're getting there. We're getting to the Lego drawer. That's what you really want. Okay, so just double clicking into this in a little bit more detail. We are going to come on to a short demonstration a bit later. But this is the framework of how we see it working and how we developed it with our customers. So we're listening into most of the time we are connected to the contact center. With Taco Bell, there's no contact center, but most of the time it's through a CCaaS platform, right? So we'll integrate with the contact center, whichever one it is, it doesn't matter. We will understand where the queues are going, we'll label the queues, are they queues for complaints or handling payments, whatever it is. And we can simply just turn on the platform at that point and start to listen, start to learn, start to analyze, start to listen into those great customer behaviors. So the first part is monitor, where in real time, we're listening into real live customer calls with agents. We are then analyzing so we're monitoring. We're listening to that at scale, right? It's not just like 1% of the calls or 5% of the calls. It's all the calls that your business is making, all the interactions you're having with customers. It's a hugely rich pool of data we can learn from. Then we want to analyze that data. So with our 20 years of experience, with the way that we have built our models and our reasoning and our pattern recognition, we then understand that, okay, you had 1,000 calls yesterday on making a payment, or where is my order? And you don't have an automated flow for that right now. But wouldn't it be interesting if I could do that for you as a platform? So we score the call, we analyze the call, we give you an insight into, could it be automated? And then provide that suggestion to whoever it is in your business that's I guess, managing the platform. So that point, really importantly, is in quite small text there. But human approval, human in the loop is very, very important for this to work. So at that point, we've listened to the calls, we've monitored them, we've analyzed them. Here's a new flow for you. Do you want me to build it? The flow is to make a payment. The flow is to add where is my order, whatever it is. Would you like me to do it? Yeah, okay. I want you to do that. Go ahead and build it. Fine. Sure. So we'll build it. We'll actually build the workflow. You can see everything that's going into it. We're building checks and balances, tell you everything that it's doing, build and optimize it, and then deliver it to you. You can see the whole thing end to end. This is your new flow for taking a payment. Okay, that's cool. I might want to tweak a few things though. Is that all right? Yeah, that's fine. We're not just going to give you this flow and expect nothing to happen. You can change the prompts. You can add a disambiguation step around adding a question. You can do whatever you want, right? We have the whole stack. So you can create and improve those agents with that human feedback, and then importantly, you can evaluate them. We heard yesterday, obviously, the importance of testing these things before they go live. So that's real and simulated calls at scale. Thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of interactions to test before finally you launch it. So in all of that, it's a very quick canter through here, but with all that, obviously you have the ability to build in that governance, add your guardrails. This is voice native and multimodal, and again, we're giving you the flexibility to be more fully agentic in this, or use deterministic models, or whatever is best for the use case. And that's another thing, right? When we come up with a flow, we'll say actually this flow doesn't need an agentic flow. It's very, very simple. We're going to use deterministic. Is that okay? And you can choose and actually tailor how agentic you want to be in building these new flows. And so the outcome here is that, in terms of the benefits we're seeing with our customers so far, like I said, everybody's on the journey. Everybody's on a journey moving from deterministic through hybrid through to agentic. We have seen customers have 40 to 70% improvement in development times because, again, we're creating and automating the flows, and 10% improvement in resolution rates and self-service because actually we're optimizing flows that are existing as well. So we're always scoring them, comparing them to, you've built a flow for the payment journey, but we're listening into those customer calls. Is it still fit for purpose? Do we need to add some more utterances? Do we need to add another step, a disambiguation step? And they're finding they can get up to 10% improvements in that particular flow's performance. So what we end up with is the most important thing here is the stuff at the bottom. In the real world, it's 96% accurate, less than 3% word error rate. The latency is very, very acceptable. Loads of reduction in development effort and everything else. So we're doing this across voice and chat agents, across security agents with voice biometrics, because a lot of your flows are going to need some ID and V in order to deliver value for the business, and then through co-pilots as well with CSR, the customer support rep as well. So I mentioned a couple of clients here. I won't go, we talked about Taco Bell. We've got lots of clients in Europe, which we can talk about later. Discover is something I wanted to focus on, actually. And so Discover Cards was one of the largest card providers in the US. They're actually merging with Capital One. So we have two customers coming together, which is great. They've been on a fantastic journey with us for the last few years. As you can see that, they needed something that was going to be very, very accurate, being in financial services, was going to deliver in production, and they went through a year-long evaluation, but that's definitely going to get a lot quicker as we move into agentic. And every Valentine's Day, which was only just a few weeks ago, they want to celebrate, right, how this is delivering for customers. So they actually record a lot of real customer interactions, and I've got a recording now about how their customers are reacting to the voice bot. So I'm just gonna, if I can get back to it, I'm gonna play something now. I don't know if it's gonna come out. Hopefully it will work. I might have to put the microphone by the speakers. But so this is a recording of real customer interactions. When you can get everything right here, when you can deliver in production in the real world, this is the kind of thing your customers will say about you.
Yes, I want you to know that Discover Card is the best card in the world. I love you, Discover Card. You always have my back. I love you.
Can you hear that?
No, thank you very much. I love Discover. Thank you so much.
Nothing else, but thank you so much. I love my Discover Card and the company that it represents. Thank you. You are always so nice.
Oh, that looks like everything, but I wish to thank you sincerely. I love Discover. And you've always been very businesslike, very quick, and I like working with you. Thank you.
That's all for now. Thank you very much. I love you.
Yes, I love you. Thank you so much. Goodbye. You were wonderful. No, thank you very much. I love this system. Thank you. The system.
That'll be all. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I love y'all, Discover.
Well, that's it. And I love your voice. Thank you.
No, nothing else. I love Discover. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's all I need. Thank you so much, Discover.
You're wonderful. We love you.
That's all I need right now. Thank you very much. And I love your voice, automatic person.
No, you were very clear.
That was the bit I was waiting for. So look, I can say this with a European audience. It's a little bit cringy in American, right? I love you. That's fine. There's a lot of brand equity in that, obviously, right? Discover's doing a good job by their customers, so there's a lot of brand equity. But the point is, everything you've heard, that feedback was going to an automated IVR system, right? So they got it right. They've solved that customer's problem. Otherwise, they wouldn't say those kind of things. And then at the end of that, you had I love your voice, automatic person. I love you too. Look, if you solve for these challenges, we're pushing the boundaries, we're making it faster time to value, delivering in the real world, production scale, and this is where we need to kind of get back to customers loving this, to really having the customer at the heart of this, and working together to make sure this is gonna fly. So that's. I know we had a longer time. I've actually got a a demo to walk through for a few minutes, and then we can do the draw. So what we're going to do here is now just bring some of that self-learning stuff to life. They're not going to go through the whole journey, but we're going to look about how we can interact and connect with real customer interactions, how we evaluate them, how we monitor them, and then how we can put them into production. So just to bring it to life in a bit more detail. And we can take some questions afterwards. And there's probably going to be lots of questions after this, so you can ask us questions after or see us on our stand. So I'm going to actually just narrate this as we go through. So here is the Omilia cloud platform. This is at the end, sorry. Giving it away. Okay, great. So, this is where we can build our agents. So this is a concierge agent. We're using very natural language to say, look, you're a friendly customer service agent for a bank, welcome customers and make sure you can help them. We want you to use the attached knowledge to answer general questions. Really simple stuff, right? Just to get everyone in the flow. Very simple knowledge bot. We're uploading PDFs, it could be any different source of knowledge to then create this flow. But this is all we've told the self-learning agent to do right now, right? Is just create this bot. Here's some information. So then we can test it. We can test it in chat, which is just a very quick, simple way to do it, or we can test it in voice. We're testing, did the agent pick up the answer from the PDF it just uploaded? And it did, right? What are the fees for a checking account? It's based on a banking app. And you can see that happy to help you. It's very, very warm. You've given it those prompts, those instructions to be warm to the customer. And it's given you the answer about the monthly service charge, which you asked for. And now, that's all great. Table stakes, easy kind of stuff. What happens when we want to go something a bit deeper, something that requires maybe a bit more back and forth or a bit more integration? You could just see there, we asked it to make a payment and it said, I can't help you with that because we haven't built it yet. So we go into our Copilot solution. Again, very natural language. We ask the Omilia Copilot to help me build an agent to take payments because that's the next step. This is just going through it at an easy pace, and we'll show you how the self-learning stuff comes in later. So again, a lot of people working with these types of solutions will see that it's going to walk you through what it's doing. It can see, it's checked the application. It can see we've got a concierge agent. But to make a payment, it knows that we need to have some APIs. We need to have some integrations about the API endpoints, the payment method, etc. So we upload an API. Very simple example here, YAML file. We're going to copy and paste it and put it into Copilot. You can attach it as a file. It could be a PDF, whatever. We're going to actually interrogate that and see if we can understand it, and then start to understand how we're going to build that integration. So we've looked through the information. We've seen actually there's two APIs, member info and the other one, web server, the payment processing API, which is great. This is what we need for making a payment agent. You can see that at every level there's an approval method, right? It's telling you what we're doing. It's not just going to go through the whole section. So the first one is we wanted to build the first API. And so, do you give us approval to create that tool, the web service agent for the payment? And we say, yeah, that sounds good. Build it for me. You can see it happening in real time. And again, there's lots of difference. So it's added the member info tool to the concierge. It's building this in real time. You'll see it in the application at the end. And now it's adding the member info tool to the agent so it can retrieve the information about the customer. It's keeping you updated all the way through. It's going to add the payment, and now it shows you what it's done at the end. So it's done it, okay? Very simply, it successfully added the APIs, the get member info tool, the process payment tool, and it's going to walk you through how it works at a high level. But this is all we've done to it, right? We haven't given it a script. We haven't given it a flow. We just said, can you create this payment journey for us, and what do you need for it? So we just clicked on deploy in the top right-hand corner. You're not going to see it live because actually this is something that works in real life. So you'll see that we'll come back in and you'll see it actually showing up on this canvas. So now we want to test it. Okay, we gave you the API, we gave you the instruction. How's it going to work? I want to make a payment. Before, remember, it said I can't help you with that. You need to go to an agent. Now it says, got it. I can help you, and I'm ready to process your payment. The first step is I need to get some ID from you. What's your phone number? Okay, so again, the important thing is we didn't give it the scripts, right? Omilia's been doing this for 20 years. We've been training and tuning our models, our self-learning algorithms to just understand what is needed for a payment journey. And it can go through the whole thing. Your phone number, how much you want to balance, you want to transfer, it's identifying you. Now, there's all the checks and balances within this, right, in terms of obfuscation, data security, sensitivity, all this stuff can be redacted and desensitized and everything else. And it's going through the payment journey. And that's all we had to do. Say, create a payment agent for me. Here's an API. And it happened within minutes. Previously, you'd have to sit some people in a room, create the flow, build it manually. So this is how we're reducing that development time. So that's the example of how that works. We're going to actually then, if you want to test it, this is just an insight into how you would test these things. So you run some tests either on in text or voice. This is where you'd actually see the entire end-to-end journey that's happening live. You can listen into the actual utterances that the customer is using to make sure that it's working as you described it. And so now actually we're going to show you the self-learning side of things. So that's just giving you an example of how it actually would work and build things automatically. This is where it's connected to your CCaaS platform. It has 3 areas of data. So contact center calls, we can upload information in buckets or upload audio files. That's where you'd select the audio file and you'd add it, and it would understand, monitor, evaluate the audio file to create the new flow. Here we're showing an example of, well, in the contact center, okay, it's just one of one, but we're connected to the queues in your contact center. There was an interaction yesterday around store hours inquiry. We think we can automate that. Let's have a look. Suggested. You can see here the expected resolution rate is 100%. The escalation paths are in there because we're already integrated with your CCaaS and understand where the queues are going. So this is how it would listen in real time. You can imagine you log in on a Monday morning and you've got lots of different suggestions for flows to be automated based on everything that happened over the weekend. We go back into the main application now, and you can actually see now on the canvas we have the original Pathfinder, which is the FAQ app, and now the payment agent is there. So again, everything is completely auditable. You can see everything that goes through. And actually, if you now select we're looking into the payment agent, you can start to see all the web services and the APIs and what we call mini apps underneath that we use to create the service. So again, we're giving you full glass box observability, and we've had a notion of what we call mini apps many years now, which are conversational microservices that are built around one particular item. So it could be like, this particular part of the conversation, you're taking a credit card number, so you need an alphanumeric model that's highly tuned to be at least 98% accurate. We're not using a generic model that might fall down there at 50% accuracy because it's not been tuned to capture alphanumerics. So the whole point is, I think this is just running on a loop now, is that, you can see everything that happens in real time. It's fully observable. And so, coming back to the claims that we need to move faster, we need that glass box of observability. We need to see things happen in the real world. This is how we've really co-developed this with all our partners and customers to get out there. Okay, that's all I have for today.